Guys, it's been weeks since we picked up this camera. Now, last episode you saw, that was our going away present to everybody, including myself, because I didn't see it. In fact, I'm filming this and I still haven't seen it. So we'll have to see those emotions together. Nevertheless, this is me coming back onto the screen to let you guys know that we have figured our stuff out. We've emotionally processed and let go of the car. And now we're moving on. We got a new project, a new daily driven project. I know that some people have asked for it in the past, and now we're gonna do it. As we speak right now, we're actually in the process of acquiring a 1995 Celica GT. See, also during this hiatus from the channel, trying to deal with and process everything, I decided to start up my new company using some of the collateral from me selling the Evo. The new company is called Foreign Import Parts Company, LLC. We are very excited because we're actually working on getting some partners in Japan right now to start importing parts and pieces, not just for my car, but for a number of customers who we have gone out and gotten in touch with and just said, hey, we know it's going to be a huge risk partnering with a brand new company, but we hope that we can have a good partnership and be able to provide you with some really unique parts and also stuff that you need, like gaskets and pumps for things like RBs and SRs. So in a way, this is both us announcing, hey, we have a new venture, but also we have a new adventure. That said, I'm gonna go make myself a cup of coffee and I'm gonna get started with trying to go get this car. Is it Daddy's car? Yeah? Look at that. Look at that, huh? Ain't that a thing? Alright, let's go get you in. This is my 1995 Celica GT. For those in the know, this is an ST204. For those who don't, this is a 6th gen Celica with the front wheel drive configuration. It's a sleek 2-door hatch style coupe with 4-wheel disc brakes all the way around and a fairly lightweight body. The 5S FE under the hood runs and purrs like a kitten with no real issues, and the transmission is quite healthy as well. Despite being an almost 200,000 mile car, this thing has a ton of life in this interior and looks fantastically good despite its 27-year-old age. The outside, unfortunately, is a different story. It needs a new paint job, it needs new body panels in a few places, and it needs a rust repair in the rear right corner. With our new import parts company, we're going to actually try to get as much JDM body panels on the outside as possible to help breathe some life back into this old GT. And while the 204 is not exactly a beloved chassis by the world, in fact many places doesn't even acknowledge its existence, it shares a number of parts with its counterpart brethren, the 202, 203, and 205 chassis. As far as the handling on this thing goes, it is incredibly smooth. For a completely stock setup with actually very old shocks in it, this thing is amazing at how precise it continues to drive and handle. I was able to drive around with an iced coffee with no cup holder and it never spilt over. Nevertheless, we are going to focus in on the suspension on this car because these things are known for being handling machines, and I really want to pull that out of this car despite it still being an automatic. Eventually we will be converting this car to a manual. For right now we're going to keep it with the automatic because it's working, it's getting me around, it's getting me from point A to point B, and until I have enough collateral again to fix the Pajero, we're going to have to stick with this being our main only car, and that means it's got to stay relatively stock. The good news is the 5S is a very reliable engine. They're in a lot of Camrys and Corollas from the same generation, and many of those cars have well over 400,000 miles. With this one technically only having 186,000 miles on it, means that we have a lot of life ahead of us for this engine so long as we maintain good motor health. That said, maintenance on these things is very, very simple. It was a commuter engine. It was never meant to be some crazy sports car motor, even though it's in a sports car right now. As far as aftermarket goals go, eventually I want to get this car up to about 200 to 250 horsepower. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and with a manual transmission and a very nice suspension setup with better sway bars, bushings, and coilovers, this thing is going to be a lot of fun. My opinion right now is I don't want to touch the boost side of things. I want to keep this NA and make it be reliable and then get something else to boost later on. As far as the aesthetics go, I'm going to be doing a lot of TRD parts, and if I can, I might try to get some like very specific tuning house parts as far as the interior goes, because they're nice seats, but they're old seats and the material is just not quite up to snuff anymore. And with me being a bigger fella means I'm going to be putting a lot more strain on the fabric, and having a dog also means that that fabric is going to get, you know, snagged here and there from his claws and nails. Obviously we're going to put down towels and stuff like that so that it doesn't damage anything, but that's no guarantor of it not getting messed up in the future by, say, another person. All in all, I want this car to be a reflection of all that we've learned from the many builds that we've had on this channel. I want this thing to be a successor to all of what we've done in the past, including the Evo. And if that means that eventually do put some fat cams in there and have some fun, then so be it. But for the time being, it's gonna be baby steps, and gonna be making sure that this car will last me a very, very long time.